huge breach. Is it greed? Was it incompetence? When you think big picture, what went wrong?
But what we weren't focused enough on was protecting, because that same data that you enable to use social experiences can also be misused.
Facebook COO Sheryl Sandberg speaking out about their massive data breach scandal. 87 million users had their information compromised. Daniel Halper, contributing editor to the Free Beacon, Weekly Standard, and social media aficionado, joins us now. Daniel, good to see you as always, sir. Is this the beginning of a watershed moment for big tech?
I think so, and I don't think necessarily for the obvious reasons. I think there's two big threats to Facebook right now. One is that people will stop using the social media company. We're beginning to see that a little bit, and we were beginning to see that before any of this all happened. The other threat, I think, for Facebook in particular, is that the data, which is their currency, Facebook is basically an ad company. So what they sell is ads, and how they sell it is because people voluntarily use that company. So I think the other threat is that that these ads basically don't work, and that I think the Cambridge Analytica leak, I think it's obviously detrimental to the company, but I think it's mostly detrimental because I think it shows that those ads didn't actually work as effectively as perhaps promised, and that I think poses a huge existential threat to the company as it stands currently.
You say the words Cambridge Analytica, and that is closely and understandably linked to the Trump campaign and President Trump's victory in the 2016 election. How much of this outrage you think stems from the political consequences versus the goodness of politicians who want to protect all of us from big tech?
I think most of this current outrage is for that reason exactly, is political expediency. I think a lot of people, especially on the political left, have been searching desperately to try to explain the election of Donald Trump. They don't know how Donald Trump got elected. And here they have apparently found another reason. Well, it's Facebook. Facebook was giving unfettered access to this Cambridge Analytica, which was then targeting people with ads, and that must be how Donald Trump won. I'm suggesting something else, that the ads didn't really have any effect on anybody.
What evidence do you have? What evidence do you have for the theory that the ads didn't work, and thus Facebook ad sales are going to plummet?
There's been great articles, particularly one in Mother Jones, showing that Cambridge Analytica basically didn't know what they were doing at all, and they were basically selling bunk to all these campaigns. They tried it with the Ted Cruz campaign. They tried it to the Ben Carson campaign. Incidentally, one of the people who didn't fall for it was Trump, at one point, campaign manager Paul Manafort, who, of course, we know for other reasons, and he thought the whole thing was garbage. It was pushed on them by donors, and so they felt like they had to use it, the Trump campaign. But there's no evidence at all that it actually did work, and I think it's incumbent on people to make the argument that it did work rather than people to disprove a negative.
Well, that will be interesting to see how much that comes out in these hearings. Mark Zuckerberg up on the Hill coming up next week, and we also will hear from him probably in the coming days as well. We heard from him a couple days ago, too. Daniel Halper, appreciate it as always. Zuckerberg up on the Hill as we talked